Happy Wednesday. Keith Tebow from FRC Media. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully your week has been going well thus far. It's time for our weekly Wednesday conversation with Mayor Paul Coogan, who continues to join us from Government Center. Mayor, how are you this week?
Doing fine, Keith. How about you?
I am doing well. I want to start with something we talked about last week, changing of the guard, if you will, in terms of leadership within the city council. The council held a special meeting on Friday and selected Councilor Joe Camara to serve as city council president. He used to be president years ago, so nothing new to him. Have you had the opportunity to speak with him yet? And what do you expect in terms of a relationship with Councilor Camara?
Yeah, I've spoken with Joe a couple times since then. He was at the We Love Children breakfast the other day. I spoke briefly with him, and then I saw him yesterday in the office with the city administrator. We talked about a couple of things that might be coming their way, and tried to get the feel for the lay of the land. Joe is experienced. I think he'll do a nice job, and obviously, I didn't have a vote in that one. It's the council deciding who's going to lead him, and obviously, I wish him the best, and he'll keep Michelle Dion will continue on. He won't keep her. She was voted in to be the vice president, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Something that shifting gears, something that happened yesterday outside Government Center. People may remember that there was a display of bells that used to be in the old City Hall that was across the street from the 3rd Street side of Government Center across the street. They needed to be removed for safety reasons. There was a little bit of an incident yesterday. So talk a little bit, I guess, first, Mayor, about why the bells needed to be removed. What happened yesterday? I guess there was a little fire that took place, and what will be the future of those bells as you know it?
Well, obviously, we're looking for a new spot to put the bells, and we're looking at a couple of places right around Government Center, but they needed to be moved because they weren't even on city land. They were on the piece of property belonging to what was formerly the Union Building over there that's now being renovated into some apartments. So Tony Cadero is renovating that building, and he wants his land back because he has plans for what he wants to do with it. And I told him we'll be glad to take the city property off of private property and find a new home for him. At the same time, the stand they were in, or the structure, was rotting out. At the end, they ended up putting a fence around it because it was so rusted that they were afraid that was going to come down. So we had two reasons. It wasn't on city property, and the structure that housed all the bells was pretty rotted, and it just wasn't safe. So we did what we had to do to make sure we keep people safe and get city property off of private property.
Yeah, and apparently yesterday during the removal, there was a fire was ignited. There were some photos in the paper, but no one was hurt.
No.
Everything was taken care of. It's just one of those things that happened, right?
Yeah, they were using the special effects from Game of Thrones, so they wanted
There
to
you go.
keep a look for it. But it did look like a fire was shooting right up out of that thing. I guess some wires that were used to run the bells caught fire, but it was obviously all contained in that middle staging or structure, so it didn't go anywhere. But it looked pretty wild for a little while.
Yeah, I know. Shifting gears now to something that's really been impacting a lot of people here in Fall River. The city has worked with Mass in Motion and other statewide agencies in the formation of regional, across the city, regional farmers markets. There's been 3 a week that started, I believe, in early June. It's going to run till the end of October. And not only are there farmers markets to help local farmers in selling their wares, but those who receive benefits from the Commonwealth, SNAP benefits, are able to benefit from purchasing fruits and vegetables, which don't go against their balance. And that's been something that's been happening for a while here in Fall River. And I know it's impacted a lot of people. And, you were at an event yesterday about that. It's really a great benefit for the city.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of people were coming through. They had all kinds of fresh fruits and vegetables there. People were taking advantage of it. You have to thank the local partners, St. Anne's Hospital, Health First, the organizations that put it on. I think CMAP is one of them, and WIC.
Mhm.
They all work together to get fresh produce into people's hands. And from the turnout yesterday, it was very, very positive. And then they move around the city. They've been at Health First. I've been to one there. I've been to one at St. Anne's, and I'll go wherever they are. I like supporting good organizations like that, doing something for the community. And at the same time, whatever they get, if it's under $40, doesn't go against their card. So it's making sure that we increase healthy diets and win all the way across the board.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, I believe there's three every week. Tuesday mornings, they're at St. Anne's Hospital. I believe Wednesdays today, they're at Health First. And Friday, I believe they're at Cardinal Medeiros Towers. That's the third location in
You
Fall
are
River. And
correct.
that's
I was there
that's
last
there right
week.
till, yeah, right till the end of October, I believe, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, and I guess there's also opportunities for some of these recipients to also get farm fresh vegetables even during the winter. There's a program that they're working with another organization to have the produce shipped. So that's another great benefit toward the city of Fall River. I actually want to go back to an event we touched upon, but it actually happened last Friday, the commemoration of recognizing the POW and MIAs, not only in Fall River, but across the country. Some over 80,000 soldiers missing in action in wars, and the Veterans War Council here in Fall River held a special ceremony on Friday where there was touching moments from an individual whose father was missing in the war, a Vietnam War, and then the remains were claimed over 30 years ago. But it's always a moving tribute to recognize soldiers who still have not been found across the United States.
Yeah. It's very special the way Fall River honors the veterans. And POW MIA Day, we had one event in the lobby of the Government Center and another one down at the wall. They're as you said, they're very moving tributes. The gentleman here spoke about how he lost his dad, and the gentleman at the wall spoke about his 6 years in captivity when he was considered MIA because they weren't sure where he was. As you said, there's 83,000, 82,000 people still missing, some going back as far as World War II. And a lot of people just want to have closure to know where their loved ones are. So I'm assuming this event will go on for all the time it takes to make sure we know what happened to all these individuals that chose to fight for our country. And again, it's very moving, and it's something that we should do going forward to honor those people and their special sacrifices.
And I know that it was mentioned that the United States, I believe, is the only country that will not ever give up looking for those missing in action or and those that were prisoners of war, and commemorating them and trying to find the remains, again, as part of that closure for the families of those missing. And that's something that we as a nation need to continue to be proud of. All right, Mayor Paul Coogan, short and sweet this week. I appreciate your time as always. We'll talk again next Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you, Keith.
All right. And thank you for joining us as always here on FRC Media. Have a great week.